Hello everybody. Welcome to our SIGUCCS presentation on what in the world is SIGUCCS and why should I become a member. I see we have just a couple of people here today, so I'm going to unmute you to see if you can and then you can just participate in the discussion and ask questions as you want to. So we have a little mic test. Tracy, can you say something? Anybody there, Tracy? And how about Steve?
I'm here if you can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you. Oh, let's see. Tracy may not have a mic. Okay. She probably doesn't have a mic. But anyway, we're unmuted, so if you guys have a question, go ahead and answer or ask it away as we go. And we also have Christine and Patrick who are available. You guys want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
So we have only five of us here today so far. All right, so let's get started. First of all, I'm Karen McRitchie. I'm the SIGUCCS Board Secretary of this year. I've been involved for about 14 years in SIGUCCS. I've done paper presentations, chaired a conference, and assorted other duties like stuffing envelopes and printing things as they've needed. It's a lot of fun. So I feel like I'm an expert and I can answer your questions about this. We have I'm just going to go through some boring stuff first. We're part of the Association of Computing Machinery. So I'm going to do a quick little poll right now and find out if any of you know what this is. So go ahead and answer the question. Do you know of the ACM? Okay, so what we have is about 67% have not heard of the Association of Computing Machinery, and a few of you have. This is our main parent organization. It's an international organization. If you are part of computing industries like engineering and programming, they have a lot of groups that are involved with those types of things. Some of the less human interest, touchy-feely customer service stuff. It's an educational and scientific society, so we have memberships all over the world. It's an international society, so it's really interesting. Some of the conferences, like the big SIGUCCS conference, has sometimes 2,000 members that go to it. Now, within this organization, the ACM, we have what we call SIGs, or special interest groups. I'm not sure how they got all these names, but here's a list of all the SIGs that are part of the ACM, and as you can see, we are listed there, SIGUCCS, which is a very horrible acronym to say. Now, SIGUCCS was started in 1963. Next year will be our 50th anniversary, which is pretty cool. It's been interesting to know that this group has been around so long and still the same problems still exist that were in the 60s as we have now. Same user services issues, same management issues. It's kind of interesting when you look at paper topics and things, how they are similar to ones that they had 20, 30 years ago. We try to focus on issues surrounding support, delivery, management of information technology in higher education. That's anything from curricular technology, networking, labs, management, new technologies, library. We had librarians, technical librarians, part of the group for a while. So we have all aspects, or we try to cover all aspects of the user services end of computing in higher education. For those of you who have just joined us, I have you unmuted, so if you have a question or you want to make a comment or something, go right ahead. We don't have a big group today, so I figured we will probably not be overrun with noises. Okay, now to join SIGUCCS, it's $25 per year, which I don't think is very high compared to some of the other organizations that you can belong to. Christine and I were just talking that we're members of ASTD, which is a training and development organization, and our membership is $199 a year. Now, what I want to go over is what this $25 can give you, or can benefit, or how you can benefit from this. The first thing is the SIGUCCS Digital Library. As a member of SIGUCCS, for your $25, you get to see all the SIGUCCS proceedings, which are the paper presentations since 1970. Also, if there's any other articles and other publications from the group, they will be housed in the digital library as well. If you have access to, if you have ACM membership, that's an additional $99. You can then peruse all of the digital library. So all of the other SIGs digital entries become something that you have access to. So right here, can you guys all see the digital library on screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm signed in now to my digital library account on the ACM site. And so this is just a little bit of information about how many publications that are there. There's almost 2,500 available for download. There's also a little information at the bottom of what types of things have been most downloaded in the last few weeks. So you can see that the topics range from virtualization to using Google to student technology support, iOS devices. And there's even some older ones, like I see there's a paper from 2004 that has been accessed lately 24 times on enterprise resource planning. So even some of the older things I think are pertinent even today. Okay. Now, another benefit of joining SIGUCCS is being part of our online communities. We do have an open discussion list, which anybody can be a member to. That's probably how you guys all found out that we were going to have this session today. We have a members only list, which is kind of nice because it's maintained by ACM so that the email addresses are kept up to date, so there's not a lot of bounces. So when you send out a question or something to this list, you know that there are actually people that are going to read will hopefully read your questions. The other thing we have is a LinkedIn group, and this is kind of a neat place to go if you have questions to post. You want to make comments on other people's posts, or you just want to generally chat about ideas. This has been a kind of a fun way to stay connected when we can't actually physically be together. This summer we're going to have our first issue of a quarterly newsletter that's going to come out because we wanted to try to figure out a way to stay connected to our membership between seeing them at conferences and hopefully doing some member spotlights and information about presentations from the previous conference. So if then you weren't able to attend a conference, you can see some of the most popular presentations. In 2010 we started having webinars. So far they've been free of charge, but we're planning this year to do some members-only webinars, which will be included in your $25 fee. These are the webinars that we've done so far. We started with leveraging emotional intelligence. We've done motivation of staff, hiring student staff, time management. This year we've done tips and tricks for writing your paper, learning environments, and lab management. What's growing on your keyboard was the one just a couple weeks ago. I'd like to ask you now, have any of you that are here on the call participated in a webinar? You can go ahead and answer the question on the poll. Okay, we only have a few people that have done a webinar. These are things we send out notices to the webinars to both of our email lists, and it's also published on the website. So hopefully in the future you'll find a topic that you might want to participate in. There so far has been no charge for the webinars we've had already, and they are all archived out on our SIGUCCS.org website. Another thing I'd like to ask you who are here, does your school support your professional development? We have some people that have to end up doing it themselves, and then some institutions will support and provide funding for professional development. Okay, so what we have is mostly yes and a few that are no. So nobody's in that in-between stage, which they can only go if there's money available at the end of the year. Whoops. One of the main benefits for SIGUCCS membership is the $75 off the conference registration. So if you are able to attend the conference, which we have every fall, you will get $75 off the registration fee, which more than, takes out your $25 fee that you paid for membership. This is a good monetary part of the SIGUCCS benefits for membership. This year's conference is going to be in Memphis, Tennessee. Its theme is All Shook Up, or IT All Shook Up, so it should be pretty interesting what kinds of topic papers that we get. We normally have, in the beginning of the conference, we have a few days of management symposium, which is more like facilitated discussions, and then we have a few days of service and support, which are actually paper presentations where someone's actually written a paper, it's been published in the ACM library and proceedings, and then they present their topic at the conference. Now that I've gone through all the nitty-gritty stuff of the actual SIGUCCS membership, one of the things I really want to talk about is what I think is the best part of the membership. I think there's a lot of, things you can't write down on paper, non-monetary value to being a member of SIGUCCS. I've been a member for 14 years, which has been exceptionally exciting. I have participated in webinars, given webinars, presented papers. Now, you don't have to be a member to do all that, but because you are a member, you get to work with a great group of colleagues who are kind of doing the same thing that you do, which I think is invaluable in our jobs. Usually we're so busy during the day to take the time to, energize ourselves or even be able to stop and breathe or talk to someone about a problem or an idea. And SIGUCCS gives you a very large group of people that you can build relationships with, sometimes mentor, be menteed, be mentored, I guess is the word. If you have management questions, you may be a new manager struggling with some things with your staff, there's always someone around who can mentor you or help you with that. We provide some workshops at the beginning in the middle of the conferences. So if you want to have, a 3-hour session, a little bit more in-depth session to help build a skill or get some information that way. We have lots of creative ways that people are doing presentations at the conferences, which is neat, and then you can keep in touch with them after the conferences, which I think is immeasurable. It's been very rewarding for me to be part of this group simply because it's nice to know that there's somebody out there, that I'm not the only one that has this problem or idea that, isn't going any further. One of the things I wanted to ask all of you too is, have you ever attended a SIGUCCS conference before? So if you want to go ahead and answer the poll. Wow, nobody has attended a conference. So this one in Memphis is probably very interesting for you. Their website is, you can get it off the SIGUCCS.org website, so you can get the link and look at it in more depth. There's lots of opportunities for various topics of papers and discussions, as well as, being able to volunteer and be part of the conference. SIGUCCS is an organization that is strictly run with volunteers, and that makes it a little bit more exciting too, because we're actually putting in the effort and not getting paid for it, but getting a little bit value out of that donation or, that giving to everybody else to make the conferences and other things successful. Okay, so what I'd like to do is see if anybody has any questions. I know this was kind of a short little run-through. Do you have any questions about maybe the conference, the website, being a member, not being a member? And you are all unmuted, so you can go ahead and talk. I guess that is, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to close that poll. Sorry about that. Yes? No? Anybody? Is Bueller? Can I ask why?
This is Christine.
Go ahead.
This is Christine, and I'm from Duke University. And like Karen, I have been a member in ACM. I've been a member since 2003. and I will be at the Memphis conference. So I'm curious to know if anybody else on this call, on this webinar, is going to be attending the conference as well or planning to.
You can do that by a show of hands on your panel on the right there if you want. You can just click your little hand raised if you're going to be attending or thinking about attending the conference in the fall.
And one of the things that typically happens too before the conference is there'll be a webinar on if you're a new attendee, so some of the things that you should know before the conference. So it looks like Tracy will be attending. Great.
I will also be attending hopefully this Memphis conference. I have done the last 10 or 11 conferences, and everyone is better than the one previous. I bring something back and learn something every single time we attend. That's interesting. One of the things that is interesting too about going to the conferences is that I think, you know, having it fall in the fall or be in the fall is that, you know, we're also burned out after the startup of the fall semester, that I think it's a neat time to just get re-energized. And so that gives us an opportunity to get with colleagues and kind of get re-energized to get back to work and move ahead with projects and things, which is just valuable. So do we have any other questions? If you don't want to speak into the mic, you can raise your hand and or you can type a question. I think everybody's just like sleeping. Okay, well, I guess if there are no questions, we can move ahead. And I know a couple of you came in late, and so I'm recording this webinar. We're going to post it on the website probably within the day. So I'll send you all an email and let you know when it's posted in case you want to go back and just briefly listen to whatever you missed. There's my email address, mcritchie@grinnell.edu. If you have any questions about anything, anything related to SIGUCCS, I would be happy to help you with that. Thank you very much for your time. It's been great. I hope to see you all at the Memphis conference. You should try it at least once just to see what it's like. It's well worth the time. All right, great. Well, thank you all for coming, and we will hopefully see you in Memphis.